previously on Self. Nah, I'm just playing. I ain't about to do that. I don't even remember what I talked about last week. Welcome to Self. I'm your host, Courtney Brame. Self is a podcast that explores self-education through self-exploration, self-discovery, and self-expression. I feel like I'm missing one of the E's, but it's all good. I am here the day that the podcast was supposed to have been released at midnight. I've been really just, again, navigating that construction, because normally I just recorded like the day before, the morning of or something, but the construction workers have been getting out there earlier, I guess, because it's hotter outside. So it makes for poor sound quality, and I wouldn't want to have anyone listen through me talking between beeps, 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 and stuff clamming and people yelling outside at each other and playing that loud music they be playing. It's just a mess, y'all. It's a mess. Checking in here with myself. I think that things are good. Again, I'm just being challenged with patience, having that tested, because there's a lot of stuff that's just like chilling right now in my life. I'm waiting to hear back about this grant opportunity that I received to get funding for my nonprofit. Yay. I'm waiting to do my first speaking event at this SCI and HIV conference. It's virtual. I have to submit my presentation for it. And I have it done. I think there may be a few revisions to make. I'm having someone look over it and just give me any feedback that they have. I am also revamping my board of directors, which is exciting because everyone I reached out to said yes. Dating-wise, I am consistently seeing two people. There's a 0.5, a half of a person, I'd say a half, who is in the running of being someone that I'm seeing. And I say that like I'm like America's Next Top Model or some shit, but that's not really the case. I don't know. Like, I'm really navigating this whole dating thing for myself. I identify as non-monogamous, and it's useful for me because I can be so transparent, and I think that that's appreciated, but there's not really a focal point in my non-monogamy. Like, I think that I find myself in a lot of situations with women where they think it's a phase, or they think that they can make me monogamous. And this has happened more times than I can count. And it really does parallel what the last podcast episode was about in regards to people coming to me for one thing and then trying to tailor what I'm giving them to fit their needs. I have a role in that as well, because in order for me to get my needs met, I think that I also do my own thing as far as modifying what it is that I'm giving so that I can get what I want. So it's not cool. And it's something that I'm working on now that it's been brought into my awareness, but I'm learning to establish this hard boundary, foundational anchor for myself so that I can be true to my identities. And so no one is going to be able to come in and just change me or make me something that I'm not. And I can't be making myself into someone that I'm not in order to just have whatever the temporary need is that I'm hoping to get met, whether that be short-term companionship, whether it be sex, whether it be something that'll, some sort of an opportunity. I don't know. But this was something that I've been able to reflect on. And what I like about being non-monogamous is the transparency among everyone. Like, you can get full consent in the sense that people don't feel compelled to hide things. And maybe there's still a little bit of that, but I feel more comfortable with having transparency around the things that are normally hidden in my experience of navigating monogamous relationships. So I've learned that there is definitely a difference between being single and being available. You can be single and unavailable. You can be available and not be single. And people don't really understand that. And It's something that I hope to be able to express in my being and how I navigate life and how I date and do my relationships as well, because it's challenging, especially for me. I'm in a conservative state. I'm a cisgendered heterosexual black man. I date outside my race and within my race, for anyone who needs me to clear that up. It's just a little bit of a struggle. So I find it challenging to meet people who are where I'm at. I know that there's a statement, a phrase, meet people where they are, but I think that it's more important to meet people where you are. And what I mean by that is, when we take the time to know who we are and where we are, we're not adapting ourselves to meet someone else's criteria, expectations in order to be with them. We can present ourselves and they can either take it or leave it. When you meet people where they are, you more so, let me use my language, I know that I tend to sit back and see what it is that they're about, what they know, what they like, what they want, and then I try to make myself be that. I don't want to do that anymore. So it's really about meeting people where I am, in the sense of, oh, hey, I'm interested in you. Here's what I'm about. Here's who I am. Here's what I got going on. Take it or leave it. Let's take the next steps. And I recently had that happen. Like, I was able to do that just in being me. And it's still a struggle because I waver back and forth, but I'm getting much better about identifying it really, really quickly, being able to be who I am. And just for an example, I've in the past wanted to, when dating someone or dating someone new, come off as a particular type of way. Like, I'm going to be the best thing that you've ever had. I'm going to treat you better than anybody else has ever treated you. And it shows in my actions, right? So I've more so done that same thing, but without the intention of competing. I understand that in the dating game, everyone has options. Not everyone's going to explore them. Some people are weighing what their options are. You got a lot of different types of scenarios that are happening here. And so for me to treat it like more of an internal collaborative competition, like, okay, how can I best be who I am? How can I most express what's happening within me, rather than making an attempt to outperform potential partner A, B, C, or D? I date people like we're the only people who are dating. If it's me and you in the room, it's me and you in the room. I might need to check my phone. I might need to send a text. I might need to respond to something. There may be these kinds of things that are going on, but for the most part, when I'm present with someone, I'm present with them. And I'm really diving deeper into what it means to be present with someone, what it means to be present and connected to yourself. And when you have that, you're able to more so be in tune with the other people around you. I believe that this also applies to friendships. When you meet people, like, I have a very unique set of interests, right? My interests are anime, podcasting, yoga. I enjoy working out. I'm really, really, really struggling to get into rock climbing and running. But these are things that I enjoy these things whenever I get the opportunity to do them or when I make time to do them. So for me, I generally meet people, the more I'm actively involved with those things. For instance, there was a podcast network that we were trying to develop here in St. Louis. Fortunately, someone's still continuing that. Shout out to Marcus. But in that, I was able to make a lot of friends, like a lot of male friends, and then COVID hit. boom, took that away. And we just kind of haven't gotten back together, or I haven't. I don't know what's going on with them, but I'm over here trying to make sure I can pay these bills. So hopefully everybody over there is taken care of. But that's one way that I've met people in pursuing podcast guests. You know, some people have really have demonstrated some interest in me, and I talked about that in the last episode of how that often ends up playing out to where somehow I'm like someone's emotional boyfriend and second option, and the reality doesn't match the ideology behind the intention of the connection, or the behind whatever it is that's fueling the connection. I'm beginning to ramble here a little bit, but meeting people where you are, what that looks like to me is first having awareness to where you are in your life. I recognize that I don't know what I want necessarily, because I don't know what I need necessarily. So in my career, I'm a personal trainer. I make enough to pay my rent, eat, and do a few things. With my sex education or mental health advocacy and nonprofit stuff, I have the potential to be in a completely different area of the country, or even out of the country, to have different employment opportunities, speaking engagements. So I have no idea what my lifestyle generally is going to be like. So meeting people where I'm at when it comes to dating looks like a lot of gray area confusion and uncertainty. And for me, being somebody who's about to be 33 years old, it brings up a little bit of insecurity in me, because as someone who's college educated, who has career experience and all these skill sets, for me to not be able to say at 33, this is what I'm doing, this is where I want to be, here's how much money I make, this is a lifestyle that I have and can afford. Right now, like, I live a very minimalistic lifestyle. You know, it may look like I don't, but that's what it is. I mean, I can look around my apartment and see, you know, a lot of the stuff that I have was stuff that I just inherited in the lease that I took over for someone, past relationships, friends and clients who abruptly had to leave because of COVID. And I got this bomb couch and TV stand. I won my TV at an auction at this firefighters event. What else? Yeah, it's and my yoga mats, even, they were given to me. So I've just got like this overwhelming sense of insecurity that I'm working on around what I want, or being able to communicate that. So I don't know why this is, but I guess with monogamy, there's this perceived trajectory, or this expected trajectory of where the relationship dynamic is headed and going to go towards a family, marriage, house, stability. And I guess that's like it generally. With non-monogamy, there appears to be all these different ways to go about that, and those primary things that are in monogamy that are expected are more so conversed about and negotiated between different partners. So there are ways to go about being non-monogamous. There are ways to go about navigating being in a relationship versus not being in a relationship, and you're essentially co-creating what the relationship dynamic looks like. Those are the kinds of relationships that I want to have, but I feel like I'm not bringing enough tangibly to the table in order to even like have these conversations, to the point where I thought about like not dating anymore until I have my shit together. But who really has their shit together? I feel like the awareness that I have, my emotions, my mental health, yeah, I have infinite amounts of that. But if I can't, take somebody out on a date without having to be like, oh shit, I got to worry about rent, or I got to make sure that I can pay this bill, then should I be dating? And that's something that comes up, because like even on dating sites, like I'll swipe on people and see, damn, they've been to these countries and I've been to Mexico. I'm still waiting on my mom to get me the application from the post office where she works for the passport. I just bought a bike. I ain't got no car. There's just so many insecurities for me that come up when we look at dating and what it means to provide. I feel very confident in being able to protect a partner, protect a community family, but I don't feel confident in the ability to provide for, because I'm probably barely providing for myself at the best. And so it's a real struggle there. I don't know how, but I've been meeting people who somehow have been okay with that. And maybe it's circumstantially because we're in a pandemic and the way that things have shaped out, everyone's struggling for the most part. Most people have been impacted by this. But to be honest, I think my shit would have still looked like this, maybe even worse, had it not been for the pandemic. Just given I've normally had 2-3 jobs, and they were always enough. But now I think I'm on the brink of being able to fully support myself off of one of these opportunities that I have. So I think that once I get through that, my dating situation, my dating life, I'll be able to have a lot more clarity on it. But in the meantime, I'm going back and forth with, all right, am I casually dating? Do I just want companionship? Do I just want sex? Do I just want to have the girlfriend, boyfriend experience, or what? What do I want to do? And so I'm sorting this through my head, because essentially, for me, connecting with people, it feels like play. It feels like when you're a kid and you got video games or friends over, you're sharing snacks and toys and playing together. That's what connecting is to me. It makes me feel sort of that same sensation of what it means to play as a kid. In an adult senses of the word play, connecting with an adult can look like just meaningful conversation, purpose, or exchanging ideas and realities, or exchanging consensual mutual touch, and just creating together, co-creating whatever the relationship dynamic is. And as I make the effort to, disengage from this belief of you got to meet people where they're at, I want to meet people where I'm at. I want to meet people as emotionally aware, available, and intelligent as I am. I want these kinds of relationship dynamics. But that's right now, big picture. I can't say what I want big picture, because it's all. And as I'm saying this, what's coming up for me is I should be able to say, hey, these are things I want, despite what resources I have. Because if I'm reverse goal setting, starting with the achievement and then being able to work backwards, I should be able to identify opportunities of being able to make that into a reality. So figuring out what it is that I want is going to be what my next step is here. I recognize my boundary. Anytime there's an intense excitement or enthusiasm, and this is in relation to the previous episode here, episode 19. Anytime there's this intense enthusiasm out the gate from someone, it's probably not going to be sustainable long term, and I may just need to go ahead and shut that down early as it transitions from being about what services I'm providing to becoming some sort of a personal connection relationship, especially with distance. I don't think I need to entertain anything new that's long distance. So I think that that's going to be a boundary as I move forward for myself as well, to not allow for that digital closeness to occur, because it spills over into reality in a way, and the maybe cognitive dissonance is a good word here, creates this conflict of, I want more closeness from Courtney, but the reality is he's far. So ideally, in an ideal world, we are much closer than we are, given the information we have. But I find myself in this situation with people I haven't met before. It's oh yeah, when we can travel, however it works out, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, even with me, I'm entertaining this shit, and I need to just be honest about it and be hey, this doesn't work for me. I'm looking for this specific kind of connection, interaction, relationship, and I need to leave it at that. So yeah, meet people where I'm at. This is where I'm at. I'm transparent. I'm uncertain about what the future is going to look like as far as what most people find to be important for themselves in a relationship. Wanting kids, wanting marriage, where to live, lifestyle. I don't have any clarity on a lot of that. So, do I date other people who don't have clarity on a lot of that, but meeting people where they are? I feel like if I know someone who knows exactly what they want and I'm coming to the table not really knowing what I want, I'm going to conform to them. And that's where the mistakes get made. So it's really important to first identify and be aware of where you're at, and then be able to meet people there. So I have a drive and desire to know where I want to be, what I want to do. I have that desire. So maybe my thing to look for should be people with a willingness to explore that, and a willingness to be transparent about it, and a maturity to be transparent about it. So I can say I don't know what I want right now, but there will come a time where I do. And in the meantime, I'm just going to continue to just meet people where I'm at in life. And I thought that this was a pretty good observation for myself as I develop into the person who's going to be wherever I'm at that point in time. But yeah, this feels like a really good place to go ahead and wrap this up. If you need me, you can email me, Courtney@selfpodcast.com, or I'm on social media, Courtney Brame 100. Peace.